Hi guys, welcome back to Cooperb Motorcycles and the final edition of The Smell of Stupid. So this series is about three of us doing a hard, long enduro on Royal Enfield Himalayan 450s. That is the Valleys Lite class in the Valley Extreme Enduro, which took place last Saturday in South Wales. So, what happened? Well, as you know, we got the bikes ready, we prepped the bikes as hard as we could. We prepared ourselves as well as we can in the few weeks we had to get ready, and we had a great time. We got there in plenty of time, and we had a quick look at the track from what we could see from the paddock. The track was several miles long, so you could only see the arena. That's the part where the spectators are, and a little bit of the woods. And it looked really good. And actually, the weather was okay. It was about 3 or 4 degrees in the afternoon when we started the race at 2 o'clock. So in the lights race, there was 201 bikes, mostly enduro bikes, but there was an adventure class as well, and that was split into two, big twins and single cylinders. And we raced in the single cylinders. So just to remind you, there's three of us. There's myself, Ian, my son Jack, and our guest rider, which was Jake Eady, also riding a Cooperb prepared Himalayan 450, which was supplied by Royal Enfield. Jake's a really good rider, and it's no surprise to me that as planned he won. That was brilliant. The results for Jack and I was not quite so good. We got a rip-roaring start. I was actually second after the first corner for about half a lap, and Jack was close behind. But then it went a little bit wrong. I'm not really used to riding these bikes over tyres stacked up. Unfortunately, I caught my gear lever and got stuck, so that was the end of second place, as quite a lot of guys passed me as I had to pick myself up and sort that out. And then after that, I had to change gear with the back of my boot, and subsequently, after another crash, or my second crash, which was a big one, I had to wait for someone to help me to pick the bike up and then replace the gear lever. So that was my first lap. Jack's first lap went okay. Unfortunately, on his second lap, he had quite a nasty crash. He was winded and hurt his ribs and his hip, and quite badly bent his bike. So that was the end of Jack's race. He did about 1.5 laps. On my second lap, I had a little crash which involved launching the bike off the side of the valley and into the woods below. So the bike was about 20 foot from the side of the track down a really steep bank in thick wooded area, and I knew that was the end of the race, and it was going to take some chainsaws and probably a winch and a quad and quite a few blokes to get it out, which it did. So yes, mixed results. One of us won the race, the other two crashed and burned. But it was a great experience. Will we be doing it again? Almost certainly. Have we learnt stuff? Yes, I have. I've learnt that on a hard enduro, you need to go there in time before, if you can, even if it's a few miles. I'd have gone around it on my e-bike and just had a look. I think that might have saved the first crash, I'm not sure. I've learned that I'm going to carry a tracker next time. Okay, the bike was quite a long way from the track. And I've learned that the Himalayan is a brilliant bike. Some of the hills were really, really steep. It was, the surface was like shale on top of mud. And obviously we've got enduro tyres on, but this bike, it's disadvantage in the gnarly bits and in the tight bits in the woods, because obviously it's quite a big, heavy bike. It doesn't have a huge amount of ground clearance. But up those steep, nasty, rocky hills, I was managing to pass loads of people because the bike just hooked up. It's got lots of torque. The weight, I think, helps it. It grips, and you just pointed it and it went up the hill. And Jack said exactly the same thing. So yes, I still think this is a mountain goat. It's not an enduro bike, but it's great for getting from A to B. And it proved to me that any of that terrain was possible on this bike. Probably at a slightly more sensible pace. It would do virtually anything. I was so surprised with how good it was. The K-Tech suspension, I wish I'd have firmed that up a little bit because I needed a bit more preload because it bottomed out a couple of times. But The damping on it was brilliant. The tyres were fantastic. Everything about the bike was brilliant. It's just unfortunately the rider didn't quite live up to standard. I will be looking at the gear lever because yeah, the gear lever is too far away from the engine in the standard form, and unfortunately it's quite easy to bend it. So that is something that we'll be looking at and making our own to make it run closer to the engine, maybe a little bit higher up and a little bit more protected. But other than that, the bike was faultless. So, and we weren't the only Himalayan there, actually. There was another guy on a Himalayan 450 that I saw going round, and he enjoyed himself as well when he got to finish his medal, so he must have done okay. So yeah, what have I learned? It's a brilliant bike. It is capable of everything. We are going to do another couple of enduros this year. We're also going to do some touring trips on this bike, and we're going to commute on this bike, just to prove that it is a bike that you can buy one bike and do quite a lot of stuff on it. So yeah, mixed bag. It was a good day. I'm alive. We're all in one bit. No one got seriously hurt. The bikes were fantastic. That's it really. Thanks for watching.